Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to lesson 4. We're going to dive into the technical assessment. So, demonstrating now the expertise in building value. So, we've already gained trust. Now, we're going to build value through a thorough assessment process, problem discovery, customer involvement, and psychology of expertise. So, the core principles, guys, is the assessment sells more than the presentation, right? Most contractors think the sale happens during the presentation where you go through the pricing. In reality, the technical assessment is where you win or lose the job. That's where the customer gains trust. That's where they start to see that you are the expert, and they just really evaluate the detail, the trustworthiness, the honesty, and your overall competence of the subject that you are looking at. So the assessment achieves multiple goals. Improves professional competence, uncovers additional problems. It builds character and full transparency with the customer. It creates urgency and justifies, a premium pricing because you are the industry expert and they want to pay you to solve their problem. So let's start with the expert assessment framework. Really six parts of this to winning the technical assessment. So explain your process, examine, point out, educate, record, and tie to. So explain, set professional expectations. Tell the customer what you'll do and why you're doing it. Examine thoroughly. 3-level inspections. Obvious, we can see there's a problem, the root cause, what caused the problem, and any hidden issues that the problem may have caused during whatever it may be, flooded pipe or broken pipe, leaking roof, you name it. And point out the issues, right? Discovery and reveal. Show problems as you find them. Don't wait till the end to say, oh, well, that. No, while you're walking through, tell the customer, show the customer what you have going on. That way they are getting comfortable and getting familiar with what is going on at their residence. Then obviously educate the shelf. Show them why it broke. Show them why the pipe bust. Show them why the roof's leaking, or if it was a faulty workmanship, it was a storm damage. If it was just old, show them, educate them. Knowledge without overwhelming them, right? Don't go into the weeds on the heavy details, just show them. And guys, record everything. Professional documentation. I can't say enough. Take photos, notes, measurements. I don't have it around here, but we have the laser measures for like walls and basements and things like that. We take measure, picture. That way we know for sure that our documents are right. We have pictures to back it up. And that way, guys, there's no questions, right? You can say, hey, here's where it was. Here's where we were at. I always take a picture of my cell phone to show the date, or take a screenshot and put that in there so they know what the time and date was when we did the assessment. And then tied to customer impact, right? So show the consequences of, hey, this is what happened last time. This is how we prevent that. If we don't fix it right now this way, this could happen. If we fix it this way, it could prevent A, B, and C. So go in depth in that and just really master each of these steps for assessment success, guys. So explain your process, right? The overview, why thoroughness matters, customer involvement, and obviously the educational positioning to make yourself as the expert educator. So what to say, guys, some scripts right here. Feel free to screenshot those, copy and paste, share with your team. But those are just some of the scripts that we have built for our team over the years. So examine thoroughly, right? The obvious problem, the root causes, and then the hidden problem. So visual inspection, document with photos and notes, functional testing. If there's HVAC, we're going to test the systems and components. Maybe take pictures of why it's failing and show that it's failing. And then the diagnostic investigation. So use the appropriate tools and measure and quantify the issues to grab the supporting data. So professional assessment tools that we use literally every day is camera and phone. We use digital forms. We use an estimating software, and then the measuring tool, like I just talked to you about for that laser measuring, are 3 of the biggest things that we use every day. But also, guys, it's that professional presentation that we talked about back in lesson 1, right? Branded assessment forms, digital tools when possible, organized system approach, and a clean and well-maintained equipment. Don't show up with a tool bag with wires hanging everywhere and your multimeter's got like duct tape on the probe wires and things like that, and your ladder's got duct tape because it's got a crack in it. professionalism, guys, presentation. Remember, first 10 minutes matters. So point out the issues for the P, right? So make discoveries visible. Discovery statement. Here's something interesting I want to show you, right? Don't just point and say this and this. Go in depth with it, right? Get the immediate impact, the solution, teasing. The good news is this is definitely something we can address. Or, hey, this is definitely something that we can help you solve. We are selling solutions. We're not selling services. So the problem relevation sequence is discovery statement. Just all this stuff that you can use to set yourself up for the conversation, visual demonstration, impact, context, solution teasing, all this stuff that your team can use. Can use to jump in through this. Well, hold on one second, guys. There we go. So educate throughout, sharing knowledge without overwhelming, right? We want the customer to feel like they understand what's going on. They trust our opinion. They trust our expert guidance. So we want to make sure we're being transparent. And, if it's a common issue, point out a common issue, but then also show them why that common issue happens. Just don't say it's a common issue because that sounds kind of salesy. Like, oh, it's just common. We fix these all the time. But this is why we fix it all the time. Like this HVAC unit brand is known for XYZ always going out. No reason they were just faulty when they installed them. And unfortunately, you have one of those and we have to replace it. So the process, the education, industry education, and then prevention education, right? It's education that builds trust. The reason, what most contractors don't tell you, right? Here's what causes this and how to prevent it. It's how you stage that question. How the customer is going to receive that information from you. And, it's all psychological, right? The reason they're going to say, oh, there's a reason behind this. What most contractors, so now we're comparing contrasting, right? So they're going to want to know what most contractors don't tell them or what most contractors do or don't do. Here's what causes this. So we get into that education. They feel like when they hear that, we're about to really just go in depth and educate them on what has happened. So these opening statements and scripts really dive into the psychological aspect to engage your client with what information they are about to receive. So let's keep going here. Record everything, guys. Like I talked about, photo documentation. Before conditions are great. Close-ups of the problem. Comparative angles so they can see it from different angles. This is especially big on roofing with hail damage, getting on the level or coming at different angles where the sun's hitting it so you can see dings or any kind of lifted shingles, things like that. And then, the progress documentation of the whole situation that you have going on. Written notes. We keep tons of written notes with our pictures as well because we keep the measurements and the pictures of the measurements in there in case we lose those notes. We at least have the picture measurements so we don't have to go back and remeasure anything. And then obviously notes like customer concerns, past experiences with contractors, any history of the home or any history with this homeowner. We want to make sure those are all documented inside of our system. And then the professional forms, right? We'll make sure the assessment templates are there for the bid building, but we also want to make sure that includes the scope and they're all personal branded. They're easy, they're legible, and they're clear. I prefer typing because you can always read a typed message. So I'm not the best handwriter, and a lot of field guys are just whipping it out on their dashboard or on their steering wheel. Guys, iPads are great for this. Get a crush-proof, waterproof case and let them go to town. As you can see, tablet, smartphone apps. We have all kinds of different apps that I'll share with you guys that we have used over the years to keep track of these things. So what's tied to the customer impact? There are 4 main categories when it comes to the customer impact, right? The financial impact, which comes with the inefficiency. So when we're looking at something like, your HVAC unit is running, but X, Y, and Z are really running inefficient. And with that, it's costing you a lot more money. This is really great with like windows and doors and insulation. Saying, hey, your house is not windproof or you have a lot of leakage going on and you're losing a lot of air because all of your windows are old and your seals are broke and you don't have a lot of insulation. It's probably costing you $150 a month. So That's a way to really tie it to their wallet, and the impact of financial is by looking at what the situation is, what it's costing them just to live there and operate under those conditions. And then obviously safety impact. This is a big one for our company because we deal with a lot of indoor air, radon, mold, moisture, crawl spaces, this stuff. So it's all about health, right? It's all about liability, landlords, things like that. This is a big one for us. We always tie back into this heavy because radon is the second cause of lung cancer for non-smokers. So that's a big one for us. It's an easy tie back. And as soon as we say that, the customer starts thinking about someone on their family or something. And it's not a scare tactic. It's real proving factual information. But that's our job, is to educate the customer on what's going on with their current house, and we tie it back to the health hazards. And obviously the comfort impact, right? This is big in HVAC. You're going to have this noise, hot, cold, convenience, things like that, smart thermostats, versatile dial thermostats. There's so much. It's all about comfort in today's world. Controlling it from your cell phone, all that stuff. So tie it back into that. If you have a customer that's really looking for high tech, tie it back into high tech and talk to them. Say, hey, you go on vacation a lot. It sounds like you'll be able to adjust your thermostat while you're gone. And then when your plane lands, you'll be able to turn your AC back up higher, and you get home, you have a cold house, but saving your bills. There's so many ways to tie it back into comfort. And then obviously the most important one is property value. They always want to know what it's going to do for their property. Is it going to help them resell? Is it going to drive the value up? All of that stuff. So those are the four main core focuses when it comes to that. How do we take and tie this back into the customer impact? Down here, guys, you'll kind of see the formula that we use is the finding. So what issue did we find? What does this mean for the customer, right? So what impact up here on the top is going to tie back to the customer, right? And then the action. Is it urgent? If it is, most of the time, if it has some kind of impact, there's going to be some sense of urgency, whether it's money, health, comfort, value. There's going to be some type of urgent action from the customer. Okay. So moving on to the customer involvement, right? So building trust through a guided discovery. It just all comes down, guys. If you can't see, a lot of this is just asking the right questions. What do you think when you see this? Have you blank noted this symptom lately? This is a big one for us with indoor air quality, especially when we're doing like dust, dander, mold, duct cleaning, things like that. Hey, what's the allergies like? Your kids seeing any signs? Are you allergic to anything? Are you seeing any respiratory issues? All that stuff. And then whenever we identify something, it's way easier for us to tie it back and say, hey, yeah, you got a serious blah, 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 blah problem. That explains the problem you're having, and here's why. And then getting their input. So these are just really powerful questions. I'm not going to read through all these questions, but you guys can read through these and kind of relate them to your industry and your business. And you can kind of see how these tie back in to what solution, not service, that you sell. So then it all comes down to building the agreement, guys. Go back one. So customer involvement benefits, right? When the customer's involved, they feel included, they feel like they're educated, it gains that understanding, it builds confidence, and it just reduces overall skepticism, right? When they know or feel included in the discovery, it helps them make the decision. For us, it just confirms the understanding that they understand what we found, what we are, suggesting as a solution. It helps build the agreement before really presenting the solution. Like, this is what we found. Here's how we're going to fix it. Do you agree? Okay, this is how we're going to do that. That identifies the priorities, and just overall, it starts to create that bond and that partnership between you and your customer. So some common assessment mistakes that we see a lot is just rushing through the inspection, only pointing out the obvious problems. Yeah, they have a roof leak. We know that already. They need something more. What caused the roof leak? Are there more roof leaks? Things like that. Poor documentation. The customer comes a day later, says, hey, can you show me those inspection pictures? Can you show me some of the measurements? Can you show me pictures of my HVAC unit? Didn't take any. So then it's just, they start thinking that maybe you're making assumptions and things like that, and we'll get a second opinion lost. And then communication, guys, right? Just not explaining it rightly, or explaining it too much, just overloading them with so much information that they get confused and they don't really know what's going on. They're not getting that impact connection, right? That we talked about. So they don't really know why it's going to affect them or why it's affecting them, but they think it's affecting them, but they're not sure what the impact is. And then, talking down to the customer like you're above them, right? They're not professionals. They called you for the solution. If they knew how to fix it, they wouldn't need you. Um, and then also no customer involvement. Phone estimates, I hate. Email estimates, I hate. Text estimates, I hate. Guys, go meet your customers, see what they got going on, talk to them, sell the job right there. And then professional mistakes, right? Just damaged tools, all that stuff, right? Insufficient photos. I talked about that on the technical mistakes, but just unorganized, not responding properly, not respecting the property, and just really appearing uncertain. They're not going to move forward if they don't feel like you are the solution to their problem. So, guys, the professional assessment approach is easy. Take your time, explain everything, document well, involve the customer, and just like always, stay professional. So, mission complete, guys. We've made it through another lesson here. So take a look at this, get familiar with this. This is a very important lesson because now you're really starting to get in to the customer's issue. And now we're going to start transitioning to an ask, which is price, close, and overall doing the job. Guys, I will see you on lesson 5. Talk to you later.